Hey, welcome to the Future AI Show from AI Ready School. I'm Chiranjeevi Maddala, the product manager here, and I have my team, Johan, Shrideep, and Ishal. Hello, guys. Today, we are starting our episode one, where we want to talk about how the product is coming along, and we want to share some updates. So, today, specifically, we want to tell you how our AI Ready School product can actually help teachers in saving their time. So, Johan, how about you actually give a short introduction about the lesson planner?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Johan. So, we've been working with a few teachers closely. So, the major problem for them was creating lessons, finding the content, extracting it from the textbooks, and keeping it all at one place so that the kids can easily access it. So, we've developed a system called to Lesson Creator. So, first, it generates an outline of the lesson. The teachers can get started with a few PDFs or directly with the AI help. And then the teachers can review the outline, they can approve or edit changes, and then they can generate the notes, and finally they can assign it to the students.
Great. So, Shrideep, you've been closely working with the lesson creator, assessment generator, and especially the notes generating section, right? So, what do you think is the main difference between the generic AI tools and what we have created?
So between the generic AI tools and what we have created, generic AI tools like ChatGPT or any language model, for it to give you content that you need, you have to provide them with context. And as a teacher, your context might change for a group of students. So what we are doing is we are providing context of those students, like giving you space to upload your knowledge bases, PDFs, class subject books in one place. And while creating notes or lesson content or assessment, you need all of these things at one place. You are able to um, give those, upload those into the system, and you are able to generate notes right from your notebooks, or lesson plan or even assessments right from your notebooks. And then the next step comes in, where you can distribute it amongst your students, a particular class or some students specifically. So this is something that lacks in ChatGPT, right? You cannot
Oh,
distribute it
okay.
well.
Okay. So, Ishal, since you have been working with lots of teachers through pilot programs, so what do you think is the, real value, right, in terms of time for a teacher?
So, since I've worked closely with a lot of teachers, not only from India but from different countries as well, like Uzbek and Nigeria, etc. So, the main problem they have been facing is the time extensivity. So, majorly when they're collecting and creating content using the online sources, it takes them like at least 2 weeks, 3 hours, 4 hours. Half of their days are going into just content creation. And I'm not talking about arrangement of the content and then adding additional things like presentations and videos, images, etc. It's just the written content. So, what when we introduced our tool, our system to them, the time cut down was 20 to 15 minutes. And
Oh,
I'm not just talking about the content generation. I'm talking about, since our system itself allows us to add presentations, upload videos, add videos, image explanation, a different variety of ways to explain concepts within a plan. So we were providing them a very comprehensive and a compact solution at one place, one go, with cutting down the time complexity and having them at ease. Because now not only they have the everything ready, they can also assign it to their students. They can
okay.
easily send it to their students, and they also have the privilege of having the assessments there only, so they can also track how the students are performing in those plans. So this entire thing has made their life easier, their teaching experience better.
Good. So, Johan, see, this is not a new thing that teachers have been teaching a long time and they've been creating materials, right? So, how do you see that it is going to change the process of education?
See, all of these lessons, yes, all of these lessons and all of these been slow along from a lot of LMS systems and teaching management systems. So where the magic happens is tracking the kids' progress, getting the insights out of the kids' learnings. After each lesson, we have assessments to track the kids' knowledge. We have tasks which can cover creative elements of the kid. So we track all of those and show at a single dashboard. So the teacher can view everything for every student.
Right. That's wonderful. So, and also, Sridev, in general school scenario, teacher teaches, right? She gives an assignment, right? They note in the notebooks and they go back and they do something and come back and teacher evaluates. Okay. And so, in this perspective, right? So, how AI Ready School actually streamlines all of this process, right? So, for example, take a typical scenario of a school, right? Imagine that you are the teacher and we all are students. So you teach a lesson to me. Okay, I pay. Some people pay attention. Some kids they don't. Right. So some kids understand. Some kids they don't understand. Right. So let's say the class is over. I've gone back to home. Let's say I didn't understand what we taught me. Right. So in that case, how does AI Ready School help me?
Well, that's a great question. So, AI Ready School, it's a very difficult task for a teacher to track how is a student doing while their teacher is teaching us something, so a topic, right? So, AI Ready School, when a student takes a lesson from assigned by a teacher, so we have tracking of the lessons, how long a student goes through each lesson from. We have a class mean ratio, something that you can look into and you can analyze how fast your class is going through each lesson and how fast a student is going through each lesson. So you will be able to pay close attention to each student's performance, how fast they're
Oh,
going.
okay, okay. Sorry for stopping you. So I'm asking about what kind of facilities I have as a student, right? So
Okay.
I have attended your class, but I still have questions I couldn't ask you,
Right.
right? And I need a revision. I want to see it again, right? So what kind of facilities do I get on AI Ready School?
So there will be contents uploaded by a teacher like notes, presentations, PDFs. As a student, if you want to go through some of the concepts again, you can look at the notes, or if you have some questions, you can ask to Buddy. Buddy can answer about the whole context of the lesson. Also, as a teacher, you will be noticing what the student is asking with the Buddy, so you will be able to review if they are able to clear their doubts, or you can personally intervene and assign some task or another small concept or lesson.
Right. So what you're saying is, whatever the teacher is preparing to deliver the lesson, the same content is available to the students also, and they can actually learn from the system itself to our audio interface, right? Whatever content teacher has taught, they can also actually listen through our buddy, okay, or any other character that the student can select, and they can also customize the voice, right? So we are providing a facility for the student to revisit, relearn, okay, revise, the actual lesson. Okay. So for now, of course, it's the same thing. But what we are going to come up with is going to be mind blowing. That is where the true personalization happens. That means if Johan, myself, and Ishal, imagine that we three are attending your class, right? Let's say for the concept photosynthesis, right? So what we're going to do is, my photosynthesis lesson will be different than Johan's, than Ishal's.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, because my understanding levels are different, though I attend the same class. But it's like probably I like I like to learn everything in the form of a story, right? So the system knows about me, system learns about me, and it automatically converts that content in a story form. Okay, so that's the problem we're trying to solve, both for the teachers as well as for the students. Because teachers' job, it doesn't end when they have just delivered the lesson. Right? That is only first part of it. The second part is they need to make sure that children are actually exercising the knowledge, right? They're taking the assessment tests, they're scoring well. So I guess unfortunately, that system is not working well in the current practices, right? So teachers are teaching, kids are trying to learn, but after that, some kids, most of the kids, they go to tuitions. There's some kids they practice using some applications, right? So they see for more explanation or better explanation, maybe the YouTube videos. Still, this whole process is disconnected,
Yeah.
right? So what we're trying to do is we want to connect all of these things with the help of AI. So far, though we all wanted to do it, but we didn't have the mechanism, right? So now we can use intelligence, which we are already using, right? We're trying to enhance it. So we are using the intelligence at required places to automate this whole workflow. Okay. So, and we're not just trying to kind of make everything easier, right? So we're not just trying to throw everything on the faces of teachers and students and have them, hey, just take it. No, we want to use intelligence in the right way so that it actually solves the problem. Right? The problem is the knowledge getting transferred into the brain of the kid, and the kid understanding it, exercising it, and kind of reproducing it, using it. Right? So I think our system can help both the teachers as well as the students. Right? So, and as you rightly said, we also are providing analytics. Right? Once the lesson goes to the student, once the student actually goes through the lessons and completes assessments, tasks, and then our system can actually understand, right? So how well the kid is actually reproducing, recalling the knowledge, right? If there are some gaps, and we're able to understand, we're able to suggest the interventions. And in fact, we're not just directly doing it, we're also asking the teacher to participate. We're asking the teacher to actually approve those interventions, right? So that we're not, telling that, hey, AI is there, you don't need to do anything here, right? So we're saying it is a teacher-centered system where the teacher controls the entire flow with the help of AI. Right? So that's the post I put in on my LinkedIn today. Human plus AI. Right? It is true for both teachers as well as the students. Okay. So, and people have some questions, right? What kind of curriculum you guys provide? right? Is it aligned to CBSE? Is it aligned to Cambridge? Is it aligned to something else? How do you answer that question?
So we are open to multiple curriculums. We are majorly focusing on a few things for now, majorly aligned to Cambridge and then CBSE. The teachers can upload their own PDFs and textbooks from their syllabus. We are open to that too for their own knowledge base. Or they can go for directly open source knowledge from the AI.
Right. So we have we give three options to the schools. One, they can actually manually configure everything. They can manually configure the lesson, or you say outline, and then use AI to fill in the content. That is the default option. They can also use the knowledge of the large language models that we have on the system, which is like similar to the Chat GPT, right? Which they're already doing, but we have a better structure. Number three, we are providing them an opportunity to upload the knowledge base, right? So a lot of schools, they asked us, okay, we want everything to be limited within these books, within these, things that we have. We don't want the children to go out and learn something else, right? So we are providing all these three options to create lesson plans first, and then create the contents, and then also create the assessments, and also create tasks or assignments. Okay? So that is the most important thing. Our system is currently flexible, but we can also make it very specific to any kind of syllabus. Okay, as soon as the school signs up with us, school can make that choice if they want. Okay, hey, we want everything to be aligned for Cambridge. We can do that. If they want CBSE, we can do that. If they want any other curriculum, we can configure that. Okay, and one thing that we generally face, or we receive as questions from the market, right? So how do we make sure that the students are scoring well? Okay, so a lot of teachers, a lot of schools see this as a scoring machine, right? So because that's how a lot of other tools and other companies that they're working on, right? So how do you position AI ready school, Isha?
So I believe that generic scoring mechanism is a bit outdated to classify that if a student is performing well. So for that, we have a very structured system in which teacher is involved. So for example, we have this task assignment, right? So these are very practical based assignments and tasks. So we are not just testing out their theoretical knowledge, but we want to test out their practical problem solving and implementation knowledge as well. That's why we have these tasks and assignments along with the assessment score. So once the students are completing their tasks, teachers can go through them and then provide their grading. So in this way, we are maintaining a system that they are getting right practicality of the concepts, and the teacher is also being involved with how the grading is working. And then along with that, we have theoretical assessments. That is, you take MCQs, fill in the blanks, competency-based questions, and then on the basis of that score, we combine these two together to analyze how well a student is performing in a specific concept within the encompassed topic. If topics are very huge. So, and then on the basis of that, if we find that certain topics are lacking behind, so we prepare mini plans to cater to that problem. So in this way, we are not just relying just on the MCQs or graded assessments, but also practicalities involved.
Right. So that's a very important thing. Understanding the concepts, right? In the practical way. The NEP 2020 is aiming for that. But unfortunately, lots of schools, they're not ready for that. Okay, they're still seeing it as, okay, some guidelines, right? So I think many of the schools, they're not understanding the real essence of, those guidelines. The NEP is asking the schools to make sure that the kids are getting ready for the real world, right? Don't just go by, all those old methodologies, but make them ready for the new world. And the current new world is, it's actually progressing at the speed of light, right? So by the time our current kids they go to the industry, it all will be changed, right? Because it is dynamic now. Of course, fundamentals won't change, but how we prepare the kid matters. Okay, are we just preparing the kid just to understand, to just remember the content and then reproduce? That won't work. Sorry, right? So that is not the world where we are living in. They will simply become, sorry to say this, but useless. If some kid is just remembering and reproducing, right? So the world is different now, and all the small things can be done by machines, right? So people with creative skills, people with innovative ideas, problem solving capabilities are the ones who are going to survive in this complex world, right? So that's what we're aiming for, right, Johan? You have been configuring so many tools on the system, right? So there are creative tools, there are technical tools, there are research tools, right? So why do you think we have kept all of those tools on the system?
For the students to keep on exploring, find what they love.
Right? So
I would
basically,
like to add on to that. So the reason we have actually kept the creativity hub as well is because one of the most important thing, I think one of the researchers in AI society told that creativity is a human trademark, and nobody except these machines can never replace creative people, and this is that's how innovation happens. So we want to keep that creative part of the brain ignited for the kids, and we want them to utilize tools in order to create and innovate. So that's why we have the creative hub.
absolutely. Right? So we want to create that experience for the kids while they're learning a concept, right? Because learning a concept is not just reading, not just about reading, by the way, any concept, right? So they should be able to exercise, they should be able to visualize, they should be able to experience the concept so that they can express it better, right? So, but again, it's up to the schools. We want to give all of these facilities. And of course, schools are slowly understanding the value of such kind of platforms, which, if rightly used, everyone gets benefited, right? But I think, the change won't happen immediately. But yes, we are seeing schools that are way forward, right? So they are thinking about the next generation of education. They're getting ready to break the rules. Okay, we're glad. We are very glad to work with such schools and such people. Okay, and yes, so that's a wonderful discussion, and we will share more details in our upcoming episodes. So thank you very much. Bye.